What up, though, guys? It's your girl, Zsa Zsa, and you are tuning in and listening to Yeah, I Said It. And before I take it back, y'all already know I'm going to add more to it. And it is Thankful Thursdays. I know everybody feeling some type of way. And I know that there is what they proclaim as over 500,000 people without power. But I'm going to tell you something. Long as you got God, you got power, okay? Long as you got God, you got power. Listen, it is Thankful Thursdays. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to Y'all Said It. And before I take it back, y'all already know what I'm going to do. What am I going to do? I'm going to add more to it. And I know y'all heard me the first time. Listen, I know that you have the activities of your limbs. You are in your right mind. You ain't in nobody's jail. And even if you do have a basement that flooded, guess what? You have a basement. Because there are some people who don't even have a basement to flood. Okay? I just was riding past the other day on Grand River, and the man said, I ain't gonna lie, I just need some money. So we are in a world right now where you have to understand the good that comes along with the bad. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. And before I take it back, I'm gonna add more to it. So listen, y'all, I was gonna talk about the foundation, right? And I don't know. God was like, "Nah, sis, I don't want you to talk about that. I want you to talk about this." And I'm like, "But God, you told me this." He was like, "Nah, I think I want to do this, sis." So I'm going to talk to you guys today about you've been warned. This is a warning, okay? Now, while we out here celebrating, living our good life, we back open. Everything is everything. But God said, warn your people. And every time somebody warned me, when they warned me, it was either I pay attention to the warning and follow suit, or I skip the warning and do what I want to do. And I'm going to tell you why. Some of you all have seen my son. He is off to college. Shout out to Alabama A&M and the Bulldogs. Go Bulldogs, because I'm an HBCU mom, okay? 18 years ago, I prayed and I asked God, God, show us what we need to do and how we need to do it. And sometimes when God shows you, it can be painful. It can be difficult to acknowledge certain things about certain people. You don't want to believe it. When my mom warned me that if I dabbled into this relationship, I was going to have years of heartache and years of trouble. And guess what? My mother wasn't lying. My mother warned me. And I want you to understand something. If you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. When you have people in your life, right, that you respect, okay, because you got to respect them in order for you to listen to them. There has to be a level of trust there in order for you to take heed to the wisdom that they're trying to share. Everybody don't have wisdom, and wisdom does not come with age. Wisdom comes with experiences and acknowledging what you learned in that experience. That is wisdom. Wisdom is not finding an OG or auntie or uncle who look like they doing something and hopefully they give you some wisdom. That's not wisdom, okay? And on top of that, wisdom is only given to believers who ask for it. I ask God for wisdom. I ask God for knowledge. I ask God for peace. I prayed and put myself in a position to be financially stable and secure because I asked God to show me. Not because I just showed up and thought I was so fancy and thought I was so such and much and thought I was just so cute and that people were just going to give me opportunities. I asked God to help me, show me, and put me in a position. God also warned me. He warned me, too much is given, much is required. Those are warnings. So when you want certain things in life, it is going to cause you some other things that you don't think is going to come with this lifestyle. When you get into certain phases in your life, you don't realize what comes with those phases. See, when you were a renter, you didn't realize what came with ownership. Before you were a single woman or a single man, you didn't realize the type of responsibility that you would have as a parent. See, every phase of your life requires a different phase of you. Every experience that you have ever experienced in life is applicable to the next season in which you're going. See, I didn't realize that what I was going through at McFarland was going to help me at Drew. I didn't realize what was going on with me at Drew was going to help me and propel me at McKinsey. And what prepared me at McKinsey, I didn't realize it was going to help me and hold me up at Bowling Green. And when I got my first job, and when I got into my career, and when I got into my bag, I didn't realize the type of wisdom that I was getting from my mentors, Tanya Champion and Dr. Richard James, or when I was getting my wisdom from certain principals or certain teachers in certain areas in my life. I didn't realize that what they were telling me then was going to be applicable to what I'm doing now. But if I didn't listen to them, if I did not take heed to their wisdom, if I did not listen and follow the directions and the experiences that they were showing me, I would be so much behind. I would be further behind. I would be the one with 7 kids living at his mama house. Yeah, I said it. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it because y'all ain't got a heaven and hell to put me in. But see, if you're tuning in and you're listening to Yeah, I Said It, y'all already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to add more to it. And I know you heard me the first time. Let me tell you something. God allows you to get warnings for a reason. The weather. If you all are in tune with your day-to-day operation like I am, you look at the weather every day so that you are prepared for what is to come. So when you have storms in your life, you are prepared for those storms. Now I'm going to tell you something. There were some situations that I was not prepared for. I thought I was, right? I'm the oldest of 5 sisters and 3 brothers, and I took care of my siblings for the most part. But nothing prepares you for when it's your child. It's a difference between your kids and they kids. It's a difference between your nieces and nephews and your child. It's a difference between your little guy baby and your kids. Because at the end of the day, there is a responsibility that you have. See, when it's somebody else's kids, you can give them back. See, my brothers and sisters, I knew they mamas was coming. They daddies was getting off work. But see, when it's your child, you don't get to pick when you want to be a parent and when you don't. When you enjoy being a parent and when you understand the responsibility of servanthood. See, I didn't focus on my son's future because I want to be the parent of the year. I understand that I'm raising a Black man in this world. And because I'm raising a Black man in this world, in the world we're living in 2021, I know what's going to come against him. How irresponsible would I be if I did not prepare my Black son for the world that we live in right now? I am doing him a disservice. Every time you do not invest, not only in yourself, you mess up the next generation, your children, your children's friends. You mess up your little cousins. You mess up your little brothers and sisters when you don't fix you. See, and if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking all about You've Been Warned. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. You know, Zsa Zsa. Follow me on all my social media platforms. And listen, tune in each and every Friday for Uncommon Conversations. You know, listen, I would love to have you as my guest on the show. If you're doing something amazing right here in the Metro Detroit area, if you are from Detroit and you are out here making a positive impact, listen, I want to interview you and bring you on my show because we need to see more positive images on our media platforms that are doing great things. Because I'm going to tell you something. The media is doing its part to scare you. Everything that people are doing is because somebody is molding you and orchestrating you to go and do it. And if you're not careful, you'll be listening to the wrong people. You'll be following the wrong ones. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. And before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. Let me tell you how accurate I am about this. When God said, don't talk about the foundation, but talk about the warning, I said, but why, God? Why do I mean, they go hand in hand. See, the foundation is what you need to be working on. If you know anything about a house, if you know anything about a building, if you know anything about construction at all, if you even know hell about Bob the Builder, you know anything about the 3 little pigs, you know that foundation is key. If you've ever wanted to build something, you can't go for the billions if you have not solidified the hundreds or the thousands. See, a lot of us like to skip steps, and then we end up right back where we were, and we got to start from scratch because we tried to skip steps. I'm doing that right now with my book. I tried to skip steps with Dear Carlin, and I thought I was going to go straight for the gusto, but I end up reverting right back to where God said, nope, you're going to have to dig deeper, and you're going to have to add the stuff that you keep trying to skip. See, sometimes we try to skip over things and skip over certain parts when if we don't pay attention to the instructions and take heed to the warnings, we will build something that is not stable. And a lot of us are building things because we think that's what we're supposed to be doing. We think I'm supposed to get a business because that's what's trending, entrepreneurship. No, maybe God is saying, stay at that job and stay stable. Get some foundation first. Stack your bread. Get some of them checks. Listen, it don't mean forget your dream. It just means you might want to go at this thing a lot more stable, because if you build it, it will fall. There were things I built with people, they weren't stable and they failed because they weren't solid. I was solid on my end, and there were some things that I tried to build with people and I wasn't solid. And because I wasn't solid, they failed. Think about it. 3 little pigs. They was getting chased by that big bad wolf. The first house they built, what was it made out of? It was made out of straws. That wasn't stable. The wolf came and blew it down. Then they ran to the house with sticks. The sticks looked sturdy. They made it a little stronger. But see, once the wind came, knocked it right back down. It wasn't until them 3 little pigs built their homes with them bricks. Okay? All white bricks. I always stop. I'm just kidding. Not all white bricks. But it's just the point. When you start building with a solid foundation, can't nobody blow you down. Can't nobody knock you down. Can't nobody tell you about you. When you start building your life around a stable, solid foundation, can't nobody stop you. See, I'm in a season right now. Can't nobody stop me. And they know they can't. There's nothing that nobody can say about my past, my present, or my future that can stop me. The only person that can stop me is me and God. Because I'm going to tell you something. There are going to be seasons in your life where you feel like you can do whatever. You're going to feel like a superhero. You're going to feel like, bring it on. Let's go. Right? And then there are going to be other times in your life where you're going to feel broke down. Like life is beating you up. Like, who is here to help me? Who is my superhero? Where am I supposed to go to turn to for help? This is why I asked you a couple weeks ago in my show, who are you? Because the moment you recognize who you are, the moment you recognize what you want in life, the moment you recognize where you're going, now you're building that foundation. And when God sends you warnings, when he starts sending you people that's telling you, hey, put your money here, don't put your money there. Hey, you might want to start building here. Hey, you might want to, take your money from there. Don't invest here. Don't partner. When God starts saying stuff to you in your spirit about certain people and about certain contracts and certain things, let me tell you something. I don't do no business with nobody if God didn't clear them. If God didn't clear it, I ain't doing it. Because there's something about a certain situation that I don't know about. See, there are certain things that are happening behind the scenes in certain areas that you are not familiar with. That's why you got to be tapped in with God. There's got to be a divine connection. You can't just go to church. Can't just listen to T.D. Jakes and prosperity preachers. Hell, you can't even listen to my pastor and not believe it. You gonna have to tap in with you. Because there were moments where I wasn't going to church because I didn't feel like church was doing what I needed it to do. And sometimes you're going to have to learn that you are the church. While these church doors wasn't open, you was going to have to learn to commune with God. I ain't need no praise and worship team to get me commune with God. I was the praise and worship leader. I ain't need nobody to tap in and pray for me because guess what? I had to learn to tap in and pray for myself. I had to go and Shabbat for me. And see, when you learn that you can't wait on somebody to open up the door for you, somebody to bless you with a miracle, I went and looked for miracles myself. I went looking for them. When I went in the store, I stood in line and I would talk to my neighbors. Oh, you look nice. You look pretty. And just because I said somebody look nice, they look pretty, guess what? They turn around and say, you look nice, you look pretty too. What do you do? Now we having a conversation about what I do, and now they telling me what they do, and now I'm getting the help I need. It works out for me every time. But see, when you are sitting around hoping and praying that somebody gonna drop off something, somebody gonna come in and change your life, let me tell you something. Your life only changes when you start changing it. When you start changing it. Listen, I love being a disruptor. I love the fact that I speak my mind. And yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. Because at the end of the day, there are people in this world that are being hoodwinked, bamboozled, because they listening to the wrong people. How they just had a baby trying to tell you how to be a parent. How? They just had a baby themselves. They don't know nothing about being a parent. They're basing their experiences off of what they're learning every day. You get your experiences from somebody who's already did it, and they did it successfully. I'm not listening to nobody that's renting, because I want to be a homeowner. So I need to find out from all the people who are being a homeowner, buying property, doing what they do, and they're successful at it. Not that's just what they do. I need to know that you're successful at it. Because I'm going to tell you something. Success has a certain smell and a certain look. Okay? Success has a certain vibe. When I'm around successful people, I feel like I gotta set my game up. I don't crawl and feel small. I feel like, okay, God put me in this position around multi-billionaires and millionaires for a reason. He's allowed me to link up. Okay, you got me in a room with movie stars. Okay, it's a reason you got me in this room. I don't know why. I don't know who I'm supposed to tap into here. But I know it's a reason why you got me here. So God, while you got me here, let's see how I can tap into whatever you got me tapping into. But see, some of you you're intimidated. You're afraid of your brother, or your sister, or your family member, or your loved one being more successful than you. That's why you don't want to help. Because you're afraid that if they get to a certain point in life, they're going to leave you behind. Wouldn't you want to put somebody in a better position so they won't leave you behind? Wouldn't you want to propel somebody that's in your community that is doing something greater? Listen, I'm going to tell you something. Everybody's attached to Tyler Perry. I bet you they glad they attached to him now. When he was homeless, they couldn't see it. But they believed in it. And see, sometimes you got to understand that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. There are some nights and days I prayed and I cried as a mama. Man, I didn't know what I was going to do. Going to the gas station with change. Asking my landlord for an extension. Hoping I don't get put out my place because I got to take care of this little boy. His daddy ain't helping me, so I got to figure out, okay, what am I supposed to do? See, when you got faith, I'm talking about real faith. Real faith says, I ain't got nothing, but something about to happen. See, I had to clap because that's what faith will do. Faith says everything looks crazy right now, but I know God gonna work it out. See, that's because when you know what you know, there's nothing nobody else can tell you about the God you serve. Listen, if you're tuning in, you're listening to Y'all Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. And I know you heard me the first time because I'm going to tell you something. When I realized that my foundation was shaky like straw, and I realized my foundation was shaky like sticks, I needed to go and get a team that was ready to help me build with bricks. And see, if you know anything about construction workers, if you've ever been on a construction site, there's a certain look that the construction workers, they got their helmet, they got dirty jeans, they got their vest on, they got their boots on, they got their safety goggles on. They ain't coming out there with heels. They ain't coming out there with a suit on. They coming to work. And see, you got to be mindful of people that ain't coming to work in your life. Yeah, they coming to take, connect, clout chase, see what they can get from you, what kind of discount. But did they come to work? Did they come to help? Because see, helping don't take much. I got friends They come and help me. Y'all saw my stepdaddy. Listen, I ain't got along with this man since my mama died 6 years ago. I ain't even talked to this man. Y'all understand what I'm saying? I've been taking care of his daughter since our mama died. And I felt some type of way. Yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm ammo to it. I wasn't fooling with that joker. But see, when people see what you're doing and what you're building, and they know what spirit you have on you, they are willing to help you. See, my stepfather didn't have a choice because he knows what I'm building. And he knows that I'm taking care of his daughters, and I've taken care of his other daughter that just got married and getting ready to have a baby. So before he decided he do or don't want to help me, he had to think about, what is this girl doing? Do I want to be the one that could have helped her? Or am I going to be the one to go ahead and help her? Because he could have said no. There are some people that can help you, catapult you to the next level, take your career beyond higher heights, but they don't want to do it because they know if they help you, you may propel and you may change the trajectory of what's going on. I'm going to tell you something. There are some people that are assigned and they are working for Satan and they don't even know it. I'm sure if Tayshawn's dad understood how important it is for a black man to be in their son's life, he probably would have taken on my son's senior year a lot differently. See, when people recognize their responsibility to their community, they recognize that I got to look at this situation differently. When you know that we've come from when we were enslaved, we weren't just slaves, we were enslaved, we were kidnapped. And when you recognize that I come from a tribe and a community that is founded on real foundation, when you know that you come from a continent and a country that's full of diamonds and pyramids and life comes from our people, you recognize your responsibility. You recognize how important it is to be a homeowner. You recognize how important it is to be an educated black man and an educated black woman. You recognize the importance of protecting your family and the children who are under your tutelage. You recognize the importance of building a stability in your community. You recognize the importance of getting out here and vote. Should nobody be pushing you and persuading you to do what the hell you know you're supposed to be doing? Where you at? Where are you? Didn't you not see the white folks take over the Capitol and they ain't do nothing to them? Where you at? Are you not paying attention that y'all basements are flooding and they have a whole nother water system? These are the setups. And if you're not careful, you are going to look up and your family will be destroyed. You'll look up and you'll want to know what happened. How did you get left behind? You will look up and you won't have no money saved in your savings account, but you got all the gym shoes in the world. You got every outfit. You coordinated. You coordinated like a mug, but you don't got no first aid kit at your house. You don't got no money saved in your savings. You smoking all the Doja in the world. You drinking Casamigos. You got all the hookah cups in the world. Do you have life insurance? If your life gets taken right now, because the Bible says you don't know the day nor the hour. So what that means is that God can come at any moment. See, you all are playing with life as if you get a second one. I didn't know y'all were cats. Y'all get 9 lives. You're drinking, popping Percocets, drinking lean. I mean, you'll smoke cigarettes back to back to back to back, but won't even walk around your block to get some fresh air. Your body will not be able to really function the way it needs to function if you don't take care of it. Some of us eat more Burger King, Taco Bell, Popeyes, KFC. When was the last time you ate an apple or an orange or a banana? When was the last time you actually drank water all day? No pop, no liquor. When? When was the last time you gave your body a fighting chance to survive? Because I'm going to tell you something. You don't control nothing. You don't control the internet. You don't control your job. They want to lay you off. What you going to do? You going to tell them, keep me on this job. I got bills to pay. No, baby, that's not how that works. And I'm going to tell you something. When you start building life with the right people, life won't seem so hard. See, life was hard for me because I was begging people to work with me that did not come with the proper tools. There are some people that want to build with you, but they don't come with no tool belt. They don't come with no boots. They don't come with nothing. With just them. They ain't coming to do no work. They coming to feed off of your work. See, this is one of the reasons why a lot of us suffer from anxiety and depression, because we're trying to make stuff work with people that don't work. It's like putting a size 9 and a size 7. It don't work, sis. You keep trying to make a relationship work that ain't working. Stop. Because you only hinder yourself. You only hurt yourself when you are constantly trying to make something work with somebody it ain't meant to work with. Don't mean something wrong with you. It just means that some things you won't be able to fulfill unless you stop trying to do it with certain people. There are some movies and shows that I'm in right now that I know I wasn't able to get them because I would not have been able to get them if I was still connected to certain friendships. Because those friendships were taking me away from what I needed to be focused on. And if you are friends with people that are not pushing you to your dreams and your vision, they're not the people you need to be around. Because the people that love me, the people that care about me, when they call me, they know I'm about my business. They know I'm about my bread. They know I'm about purpose and vision. Don't come at me with that other stuff. Don't come at me with that other stuff. Because I'm going to tell you something. I told you, wisdom don't come with age. It comes with experience. And there are some people that are so immature. You're old and you're immature. How you 50 years old and you still immature? How you ain't got nothing for yourself? How you 40 still in mess living at home with your mama? How you 30 and you still acting like you 17 playing on people's phone? Listen, I had a situation last month and I said to myself, y'all playing on people's phone? How grown are we? Who playing on people's phone? Who got time to be lying? You lying? Who got time to be getting caught? You saying I'm confrontational because I'm checking you? Because I'm addressing a situation? What are we, kids? You mean to tell me that I can't address a situation that makes you feel uncomfortable because you okay with what you did, but you ain't okay with me addressing it? See, that's what lets me know what type of people I'm dealing with. See, I'm certified in people. I got a PhD in people, okay? And when you learn people and you learn the history of people, you recognize who and what you're dealing with. If you're tuning in, you're listening to Y'all Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it, and I know you heard me the first time. I'm talking all about you've been warned. You've been warned. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. You know Zsa Zsa because you do. Listen, God is going to allow me to talk on different platforms because he wants me to be able to speak to the masses. And when you share these videos and when you share these opportunities, not only do you save somebody else's life, but you change the trajectory of how things are happening. See, we can't cancel people out without helping them, without warning them. See, before I whooped my son, I warned my son. Come on, parents. Before you whooped your child and popped them, what did you say? Don't do that. Am I right? Come on, parents. Somebody say something to me. When you are watching kids and you give them hey, you're going to have it after you eat. Or don't touch that. And you've already given them a verbal warning. And then when they become disobedient, they do what you told them not to do. Guess what? Fine, you pop them. Now they, oh God. But they can't get mad, right? Because you've already warned them. And this is the same way with God. He will test you and he will warn you. And that Holy Spirit and that intuition and that little voice that you hear, those are warnings. Those are warnings. Let me tell you something. There are situations that I knew because God had warned me. He said, nope. And I ignored it. And then I'm over here in the corner crying, mad. Who you mad at, sis? Who are you mad at? You got the warning. You ignored it. You bypassed it. You thought it was going to be different. You didn't believe the warning. And then now you sitting up here looking like a fool. Because see, this is the thing. When we get into situations when we believe what we see, opposed to when we believe what we hear, opposed to believing what we see. See, a lot of us get caught up in believing what we hear and not paying attention to what we see, what we know to be true. I don't know where y'all were at in history, especially Black history. I don't know where y'all were at when y'all were watching the news, but I pay attention. And when I say I really pay attention, I mean I pay attention, I research, I read, I follow, and I compare notes, because I don't ever want to get caught up in a situation where I'm just that gullible to follow behind the masses. And I'm not here to dog nobody out, and I'm not here to talk about you, but you got to be careful that you don't just go with the first thing that you see, with the first opportunity that's thrown your way, the first man or woman that say they love you, or the first little good feeling that they give you. You better pay attention to their actions. And I mean repetitious behavior. See, my ex-husband did something that I can thank him for. He caused me to pay attention, not only to my life and me, but he caused me to pay attention to other people that I had in my life. Because if you pay attention to people's repetitious behaviors, you will never be surprised by their actions. There are some things that I was surprised by, some people I was shocked by. But see, at the end of the day, this system that they have created for our people, this Willie Lynch system, and if you know anything about the Willie Lynch system, it has caused us to be against our own people. The Willie Lynch system says take the Black man out the family, add the government, have you codependent on all these programs instead of building within your own community. It caused us to look at each other as enemies instead of the ladders that we need to get each other to the next level. Could you imagine if you look to your homeboy, your homegirl, and they a millionaire too? Could you imagine looking at your brother or sister and y'all all are homeowners? Could you really look at everybody in the family and we all got good credit? But see, this is where the enemy wants us to be. He wants us to fight each other. He wants us to look at each other like, look at her trying to be great. Look, she thinks she all that. Let me tell you something. It's sad when people that grew up with you look at you and envy you, not knowing, hey, I walked on Joy Road. I walked down Schaefer. I caught the Schaefer bus that took forever to come. I took the Grand River bus back and forth downtown. I took the what was that? I had to take the Jefferson bus to the Joy Road bus to get home from work. But see, at the end of the day, as you matriculate and grow, people don't like when there is space between that growth. I had a young man I went to school with. Let me tell y'all, when I chill, I like to chill. And this young man, no, he didn't mean no harm by it, but it let me know the insecurities that people face within themselves. He was telling me about his lifestyle and all this, and he was asking me about mine, and I made my opinion, and he was so adamant about what I felt like, but that was my opinion. And see, when people want to push their opinions on you and their insecurities on you, because I'm going to tell you something, insecurities, they will show. People will try to hide it. They can mask it all they want to. There are people who look beautiful on the outside and totally insecure on the inside. There are people who are celebrities right now, and I walk in the room and they're still insecure. How you insecure, sis? You a lot further than me. But see, people know when you have that thing on you and when it's on you and when it's in you. And see, people look at you and they think, dang, I know once he get out, once they go, they own. My brother been gone for 12 years and he's a lot further than people who've been out for 12 years, who've been out of prison their whole life. And my brother has superseded people that are free. How did that happen? I'm going to tell you how it happened. It happened when people thought they had more time. See, when you think, oh, I got time. Oh, ain't nothing going to happen. Oh, I'm sure people did not think their power was going to go out yesterday. I'm sure there are people who woke up and saw trees on their cars, trees falling in their backyard. I'm sure there were people who did not anticipate their basement flooding once again. See, you don't know how life will go. You don't know the trajectory and the direction in which your life is going to go in. That's why you got to stack up. Got to stack your bread. You got to stack up on food. You got to stack up on education. You got to stack up on wisdom. You got to stack up on love. Because when somebody decides they want to walk away from you, who are you to be sitting up in the room in the dark or depressed because of somebody deciding to leave? Listen, you better stack up on the love. You better stack up on self-preservation. You better stack up on self-awareness. Because if you don't, people will leave you and take parts of you with them. And now you're stuck trying to fill in those empty portions of you because you just kept giving. You just kept giving. Let me tell y'all something. When I had my mental breakdown and I snapped out, it was because I was giving, and nobody was pouring into me. I was taking care of my brothers and sisters. I was writing and making sure we were going to visit my brothers in prison. I was taking care of my mom's legal situation while she was sick, while she was dead, while after the funeral. There was stuff, because after a person died, you still got to take care of their stuff. After the funeral, there are still things that you got to take care of when your loved ones pass away. The funeral ain't the end. And see, people forget. Not only are you dealing with your own grief, but you still got to deal with the business portion of it. And still being a mama to my own child. So I had to really get into my thought process and say, okay, I need to really get into my bag. And my bag just not the money. My bag is me. I am the bag. The money is going to be here. The money has changed from generation to generation, from time to time. Before there were green dollars and gold and all of these forms, they were trading with cows. They were trading with jewelry. They were trading with oils. They were trading and bartering with certain items. There was no money. And just like right now, they're trying to transition that green paper dollar into Bitcoin and all of these different forms of dollar. Y'all better pay attention, because you're going to look up and you're going to be left behind, and you're going to be trying to figure out what happened. Where was I at? It's like when you go to the store. Yeah, see, everybody's comfortable because you got a bridge card. What are you going to do if they ever cut the bridge card off? What would you do if they cut your Medicaid off? See, you get comfortable like Monique, what's her name? Nikki Parker. Wow. Whatever her name is, when she told Precious, you better go down to the welfare office. What do you do when there's no more welfare? What do you do when all of the programs, because unemployment it's going to end. Then what? What you going to do? And I'm going to tell you something. For those of you that are not paying attention, crime is going to increase. The pawn shop, they're going to have a whole bunch of stuff, because now people are trying to maintain this lifestyle that they've created for themselves. Instead of stacking their bread like they were supposed to, going to buy a property, like, see, the gap about to get bigger between the poor and the wealthy. We already know the middle class is the poor. Listen, I didn't make the rules, okay? My professor talked about this moment 3 years ago. Down at Wayne County Community College downtown. I got 7 more credits to go, y'all, and I'm going to be graduating. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to y'all said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking all about you've been warned. If your foundation is not set, it's going to be rocky and it's going to fall apart. Because if you're focused on working on the outer parts of you more than you are focused on the inner parts of you, you're going to lose every time. Because I'm going to tell you something. When you are building a foundation, you won't get caught off guard. See, I was prepared for my power to go out. Let me tell you why I was prepared. I got candles. I got a flashlight. Power going out, I ain't tripping, because I was already prepared. Basement flood, I put everything up, so can't nothing else get destroyed. See, proper planning prevents poor performance. See, if you know what you know, you move accordingly. You start saying, you know what? I don't need to go out tonight. I need to save my money. You know what? Let me start doing my meal preps for the week, so that way I can save me more couples of dollars on a few more things. You start paying attention to how you're moving. That's why when I took my son off to college, Shout out to my son and all of those who are sending your children off to college or your children are now seniors. I didn't cry because I was sad that my son's going off to college. I'm excited about what God is doing for my son because I know where my son's been. I know where we've been. My son watched me struggle. He watched me be a single parent and he watched me make ends meet. He watched what people did to me. He saw it. There's nothing that anybody can tell my son about me because he watched me build it. He watched the people who said they was going to help me. He watched the people talk about me. He watched my mentors do what they said they was going to do. My son seen it all. My son is my brother's son. I tell people all the time, I grew up with my son. My son is my son brother. Because at the end of the day, we grew up together. We watched each other grow. I was in my 20s turning down parties and hanging out because I knew my son had to be at school. And if I'm toe up and drunk from the flow up, I'm not going to get up to take him to school. So which one is more important? Me partying with y'all tonight or me getting my son up for school? See, when you start making decisions about your future, certain answers become easier to answer. Certain things become easier. Do I want to hang out with you? Nope, I got stuff to do. So because I got something to do, God gave me some business and I need to focus on the business that God gave me. I can't be fooling with you because you ain't focused. There are some friendships that I don't ever want back. Ever. Because you ain't focused. They look like they was focused, but they wasn't really focused. And see, this is the thing about politics. Politics will make you think that the people have your best interests at heart until you see that they don't. It reminds me of certain things like Cuomo resigning, the governor of New York. And it reminds me of certain situations in politics. Because when you know politics and you know politics, I've been in politics since I was 14 years old. I've literally worked on the last maybe 6 or 7 mayor campaigns. My first campaign that I worked for was Kwame Kilpatrick's when I was 14 years old. So believe you me, I know a lot more than a lot of people think I know. And that is a great thing. Because when you know what you know, certain people can't tell you certain things. That's why when I look at certain people and I see how they're folding and I see how they're conceding in our community, how is it that y'all so comfortable with us having a white mayor in a predominantly African-American city? And I'm not saying that Duggan hasn't done some things in our city, but he's the mayor. He's supposed to do these things. Why are y'all acting like he ain't supposed to do these things? It's like a teacher. A teacher's supposed to teach. Like a coach is supposed to coach. It's when they don't do what they're supposed to do is the problem. So there are some things that, yeah, okay, he got us some nice parks. But if the kids can't play at the park and be safe, what exactly did they do? I mean, if I can't be where I want to be, even though you made it nice and it's supposed to be for me, but I can't be there, that don't make sense. I don't like the fact that we always think our Savior has to be white. They've taught us white Jesus. They've taught us that white is right. Black is ugly. They've taught us to hate dark skin. They've taught us to hate ourselves. They've taught us to hate each other. And we still suffer from them same syndromes. Because when you start looking at people, you start recognizing, oh, you've been conformed. You don't really hate me. You hate the growth in me. You hate that I represent something that you want to represent. And when you start looking at it, you start recognizing it. See, I started learning about politics a long time ago. See, politics, you got to follow the money. Follow the money trail, you'll follow what's really going on. We got billions of dollars at stake right now. Billions. I ain't talking about no couple hundred thousands. I ain't talking about a few millions. I'm talking about billions, federally funded billions of dollars that have been allocated to our city. And if we're not careful, we will get the short end of the stick again. Again. We keep thinking, oh, they gonna let us in. They gonna let us have a seat at the table. Every time they've let us have a seat at the table, they've killed us. They've destroyed us. Let me tell you something about politics. Politics are gonna do three things. You ready for this? This is what politics is gonna do. Politics will A, shut you up, offer you a job so that you do not conform the rest of the people, so that you don't educate them on what it is that they need to know, the warnings. This is what Cuomo was doing. He was warning us about what was going on within the GOV. And see, when you start warning the masses and start telling the truth, they want to shut you up. They want to disconnect your line. And see, I am not a person that condones sexual abuse, rape, or any of those things. But isn't it ironic that these women came out now? Why didn't they come out during the Me Too movement? Why didn't they come when they were shooting down Bill Cosby and R. Kelly? Why didn't these women show up when it was the hottest time in season to talk about their predators and talk about the people who hurt them? Why didn't they come out then? Let me tell you why. Because when you are telling the truth about things, they want to discredit you. They will discredit you or they will shut you up. And if they cannot discredit you and they cannot shut you up, they will blackball you. They will create this illusion that you are not who you say you are and you should not be trusted. That is what politics will do. And if they cannot conform you and offer you a job to shut you up, if they cannot blackball you and get you to conform with the rest or cause some type of obstruction for you to get ahead, they will kill you. You don't believe me? They killed Martin Luther King, didn't they? They tried to discredit him. His own people who knew his mission, Rosa Parks, they tried to say she was a terror, that what she was doing was wrong. And even her own people were scared of her disruptions. Don't disrupt the bus system. How do we expect or anticipate real change if we are not willing to support either A, the disruptor, or B, the disruption that we need? Nothing has changed in history unless there were people who rebelled against the masses. And I'm going to tell you something. When white people start warning you about the same thing, you better take heed. Because there's a reason why you are being warned. Whenever I warned my son of a thing and it ended up happening, he had to really humble himself and say, man, mind you was right. And then when I tell him and he follows suit, he don't got to worry about the warning because he was already prepared. He was already in position. And see, you do your children and your family a disservice when you don't teach them. I don't worry about my son's future because I taught him well. Because there were people in my life who taught me well. There are things that we know better, but we don't do better. Who are we really hurting when we do that? Not only are we hurting ourselves, but we're hurting the community that we say we love. And the thing about it is that some people can't move on because they're stuck and they see you growing and they want to grow, but they don't know how to grow. And so they would rather hinder you from your growth because they want you to be on the same level playing field as them. Listen, at the end of the day, before I revert back to who I used to be, and before I let you take me back to who I'm trying to so desperately not to be, listen, you got to be mindful that you don't want to be in the same situation year after year after year after year. I told myself I'm not having no more kids. I'm not bringing no kids into this world if I can't take care of them. You do your children a disservice when you bring children into the world and you poor. You out here just having unsolicited sex. And then you get mad when you get an STD. Then you get mad when you end up having a baby with somebody that you didn't plan on having a baby with. Then you get mad when you end up in a relationship that's draining you because you're not paying attention. And see, politics will have you all the way messed up. They'll have you thinking one way when it's a whole nother way. And if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. Before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. I'm talking all about you've been warned. You've been warned. Because warnings come before the destruction. My mama used to say, okay, you cannot listen to me if you don't want to. You can go ahead. My music teacher, she used to say, a hard head makes a soft behind. You don't believe fat meat is greasy. And see, if you don't listen to somebody, if you don't listen, they would say, if you don't listen to, if you're not prepared, if you are not prepared, how does it go? Y'all know the saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that is applicable to all areas in your life. If you fail to plan, meaning sit down, turn that TV off and get a strategy. Get off the phone talking to people who ain't talking about nothing. Let me tell you something. There are some people who know not to call me because there's nothing that me and you need to talk about. There are some people that know me. They know me from us growing up together. They know me from us going to church together. They know me from working together. But if you ain't coming with nothing, what we need to talk about? They know. The best thing that they can do is just watch me. Because I've warned people about what I'm getting ready to do in my life. It's your fault you didn't believe me. There are some people you told you're going to open up a restaurant, or you're going to open up a salon, or you're going for the supervisor position, or you're putting yourself in position to get married. There are some people that hear you. They hear you, but they don't believe you. Let me tell you something. Everything that I say, that's why, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. The Bible told me I could speak those things that are not as though they were. So what that tells me is that if I have enough faith to believe it, and I continue to manifest it and speak it, and I put myself in a position to work at it, and I take myself out of positions and away from people that mean me no good, that I can eat the good of the land, it's just a matter of setting up the foundation. That's why when you talk about being equally yoked, that's not just for marriage. Being equally yoked is about everything that's in your life. Friendships, equally yoked. People that I call my friend, people that consider themselves my friend, we ain't talking about people. We talking about how to get it, how to make each other better, how to keep each other encouraged, how to keep each other motivated. There were times when all I had to sleep on was my massage table that I was doing microblading and eyebrows and eyelashes on, and all my son had was a mattress. But I had friends and loved ones who said, listen, whatever you need, we gonna help you. Listen, I ain't got much, but this is what I do got. I see your vision, and this is what I can do. See, it don't take much when they're your real friend. When they really rock with you and they really support you, it don't take much. But hey, sis, I want you to have a great day. You got this. There were times that I was literally that picture of that woman sitting on the side of the bed with her head in her lap, trying to figure out how she was going to make it. But I knew I was building something. And I knew that if I kept building it, even with tears in my eyes, I kept building it broke. I kept building it on food stamps. I kept building it when people walked away. I kept building it when I didn't have nothing to build with. I went and found materials. When people decided, oh, I don't want to be friends with you no more, I still kept having to build it. I can't stop building because you don't want to be married no more. I can't stop building because you don't want to be friends no more. I can't stop building because I gotta move. I can't stop building because family members decide they don't want to be family no more. What I'm supposed to do with that? Sit around and wait for you to conform and wait for you to be on my line and on my... No. Let me tell you something. When you're building, and I mean really building, and when you really are ready to tap in, I mean tap into you. Not talking about pretend to tap in. Because a lot of y'all acting like y'all tapping in. A lot of y'all acting like Black lives really matter. A lot of y'all are saying it, but you're not working on that internal so that we can get there. Our people cannot get there until you all work internally on you. There are a lot of you who are saying this, but you're operating like this. How many people got the same organization that's doing the same thing but won't link up? How many people know what I'm doing, but instead of utilizing me, they'll go use somebody else? How many people you know that know what you're doing? They know what you're building, but they'll go across 8 Mile to go get the support. This is why I look at certain people a certain type of way. You won't ever be able to bamboozle or hoodwink me ever again. Because I'm going to tell you something. When you start focusing on who you're building with, you can't blame nobody for your life and for your situation. Look at who you building with. Look at who you connecting with. There are some people who have been sitting on ideas for years and it ain't came up off the ground. You know why it ain't off the ground? Because you keep trying to build with people that ain't ready to build. Oh yeah, they're going to tell you, yeah, you can do it. Yeah, you can be, yeah. But if they not ready to help you build that solid foundation, if they not willing to put in that work with you, and I mean consistently, there are people who started stuff, they ain't started it back. Created stuff, had you all geeked and hyped, thinking they about to do something, they ain't did nothing. That's why I'm a woman of my word. When I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. When I say I'm going to finish something, I'm going to finish it. Because all you got is your word. What else you got? What else? If we take away everything that you have, what do you have? Your word. That's it. That's it. That's all. And when all you have is your word, let me tell you something. You better work that word. When I told my son, oh, you gonna get graduated and you gonna graduate with your peers, I meant it. Yeah, I said it, and before I take it back, I'm gonna add more to it because I was willing to go through hell and high water for mine. When you really want what you want and you really going after what you going after, I told my son, do you want to go to this school? Well, then let's do what we need to do to get you there. Okay, so you want to do this? And see, that's why anybody who I've ever been friends with, anybody who you've ever been friends with, and you were the motivator in that friendship, you were the pusher in that friendship, you were the person saying, come on, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. Let me tell you something. And they decide that they don't want to be your friend no more, or they want to cut you off, or they want to create these lies about you. Listen, don't fret. There were some things people said about me. They got to eat that now. They got to eat the stuff they said about me. They got to devour it, and I hope it tastes good. Because you now have to deal with, I could have connected. We could have built something. There are some people that are watching you that know what you're doing and know what you're building, and they see the foundation that you are building from. See, once you build that foundation, you can start building the walls. Once you got the walls up solid, now you can add the roof. Once you got that roof on, that means, okay, you have a covering, which means now, okay, I got the foundation is solid. The walls are here. The windows are here. Now let's start adding windows. Now let's start furnishing it. And see, people love you when you only got an idea. It's when that foundation start getting built. It's when the walls start coming up. It's when that roof start getting on there. It's when the windows start getting in there. And now you got furniture in this place. It was easy when it was just an idea. People liked you better when it was just this is what she thinks she want to do. See, you got to be careful. not to build with people who may sabotage what you're building or distract you from what you're building. Because there are going to be distractions that are going to be sent to you. And if you're not careful and if you're not paying attention to the warning, they will destroy everything that you're building. I want you to pay attention to the warning signs that God is giving you. Listen, you won't be hoodwinked and bamboozled, and there won't be not one big bad wolf that can knock your house down when you are prepared and have a solid foundation. You will be ready for whatever comes your way. Listen, if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. Before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. And I know you heard me the first time. Listen, follow me on Instagram. Subscribe to my YouTube channels. You know Zsa Zsa because you do. Stop acting brand new. Listen, you'll be blessed by being a blessing to others. And I'm telling you, one thing's for sure, two things for certain. God has blessed me beyond my measures because he's seen what I did in private and he's seen what I did in public. See, a lot of y'all think God gonna bless you for what you're doing in public because you're doing it because you want everybody to see it. It's what you do in private that God says, I'm gonna catapult you. It's the conversations that you have in private that God says, I can trust you. It's what you do when ain't nobody looking when God says, okay, they ready. See, if you doing all of what you doing for people to see you, you ain't ready. See, God is putting me in a position because he can trust me in private just as much as he can trust me in public. He could trust me with a little bit just as much as he can trust me with a lot of it. He can trust me with 2 followers and 2 YouTube subscribers, and he can trust me with 2 million. But see, if he can't trust you with a few, he can't trust you with a lot. That's why many have been called and only a few have been chosen. That's why too much is given, much is required. You don't have a lot because you ain't taking care of what you got right now. I'm so grateful for the platform that God has given me. And because I'm grateful of it, I won't misuse it. I won't misuse it and I won't mistreat it. And that's when God knows he can trust you. Listen, I'm warning you, and if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It, and before I take it back, I'm going to add more to it. Make sure you share this video. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Listen, I am looking for guests to be on my TV show each and every Friday. Tune in to Uncommon Conversations with your girl. And listen, I look forward to all of the many, many great things that you are going to do and that we are going to do together. Listen, if you're tuning in, you're listening to Yeah, I Said It. I'm your girl, Zsa Zsa, and I hope that you have a phenomenal, fantastic day. And guess what, y'all? Next week, my birthday. Hey, okay? So listen, don't be acting fake, okay? Y'all know it's your girl birthday, so make sure y'all be prepared to turn up with me as we go have us a good time. And be safe, wear your mask, wash your hands, and stay out of people's business if it ain't paying you, okay? Love y'all. Peace.